Hey, this is Alexis Gumapas from Bit by Bit Code, here to teach you week 1 of our advanced web development course. Today we will be creating a single page web application that has a night theme, navigation bar, user inputs, custom fonts, and much more. So let's get started. Begin by opening a new project in code.org's web lab. Let's begin by linking our custom font from Google Fonts. So first, go to Google Fonts, and you can browse many different fonts, but for this project we use Quicksand. As you can see, now let's go click Get Font and get the embed code and use the bottom link. Now we can copy this into the header of our HTML. Now let's create our dark theme for our website. So let's do this in the body, and we put input type equals checkbox, ID equals theme toggle, and then end the tag. Then let's put a class and name it wrapper. Oops. And then end the tag. Oops. And the tag. Then let's do the label. For equals theme dash toggle, class equals theme dash switch, title equals toggle, let me capitalize that, toggle theme. And then in our original project we have a little moon symbol as the as our symbol, so let's just copy that and paste that as the symbol for that. And then let's end the label. Oh wait, I need to put it class equals theme switch. Oh, I forgot to put the title. I put the title under. The title should be here. Title equals theme dash toggle, and then we could put the actual symbol for it. And then let's end the label. So now you can see there's a checkbox on the top left of the screen, which will eventually allow us to change the theme of our website. So now let's create our navigation bar by creating a list, which we can style later to look more like a navigation bar. So let's do header class equals site dash header, label for equals menu dash toggle, class equals hamburger, and let's just put this sort of equal symbol and end the label. Then let's do a nav class equals main nav, and then let's begin a list, so UL, and then let's do the individual list items. So this will link us to the different sections of our web application. So let's do list a href equals hashtag about, and I forgot to put the other quotation, hashtag about, and then we can delete this one. And then we'll put the actual, like, what it's going to be called on our screen, about. And then let's end the A tag, and then end the list. And since we have 4 different navigation elements, we can just copy this and use the same format to change it for each one. So hashtag about, and then there was a menu section, and we'll title that menu. There was a contact section, so we'll do contact, and an FAQ section. Okay, and then let's end the UL. Now you can refresh and you can see that there's the theme toggler and you can see the navigation bar that hasn't been styled yet. So now let's create our header. You can choose to name your lemonade shop whatever you'd like, but I'm gonna go with my nickname and name it Lulu's Lemonade. So I'm gonna do a division class, div class equals hero h1 blue Lulu's Lemonade, and then end the header. Then we can add a cute tagline underneath our header. So I'm gonna do a paragraph and then I'll give it the class tagline. And these classes we'll then style in the CSS so that it can format it and make it the project look way better. So I'm gonna give it the class tagline, and then I'm gonna give the tagline fresh lemonade, sunshine in a cup, and then end the paragraph. And so let's refresh and see the header, as you can see. And now let's end the div, end the div, and then end the header. Oh, and okay, wait. Okay, great. So now let's begin our about section. So let's do a main tag. Oh, wait, I started. Let's start below our header. Let's do main, and we'll do the section ID equals about, and our class would also equal about, and then end the tag, and then let's do h2 about us, and then end the tag. So let's make our about us section. So welcome to whatever your lemonade stand is called, but I'll do Lulu's Lemonade. Your neighborhood lemonade stand run by kids with a big dream and even bigger pictures. All our drinks are handmade with love and lemons. and then we can end the paragraph, and then end the section. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now let's refresh to see the About Us. Okay, and now we can add our images for our menu. So you can download whatever images you'd like, but I already have them saved in my computer, and then I'm going to click Add Images, and I'm going to add each of my image. So I named each one Lemonade 1, Lemonade 2, Lemonade 3, and Lemonade 4. So now I added all my images into my project, and so now we can just reference them through our assets. So I'm gonna start another section. So section ID equals menu, and our class would also equal menu. And then I'm gonna give it a header, which will be the menu, and then end the tag. And now let's do a division class so that our menu would appear in a grid layout similar to menu dash grid, and that. And we'll also do the division class so that it will appear as a card instead of like a blocky sort of image. So let's do card and that. And then now we can add our images. So image source equals lemonade 1 JPEG. And then we have to think about what should we call our lemonade. So I'm thinking this one looks like a generic lemonade, so I'll just do classic lemonade. Classic lemonade. And then let's end the header. Oops, wait, I forgot to add the header tag in the first place. And then end the header. H3. And then we can add the price. So let's do span. Let's do enter span class equals price. And then I think for a generic lemonade, we can do around $1 for a cup. So then now we can just end the span and end the division. And so we'll just have to repeat this process 3 more times for each of our items. So I'm just gonna copy and paste, or actually, sorry. Just copy from here to here, and then I'm just gonna paste, and paste. And so now we can just change it for each of our images. So I'm gonna do lemonade 2, lemonade 3, and lemonade 4. And then, so let me see, lemonade 2 is like this sort of cherry, there's cherries in the back, so maybe I'll just call it cherry lemonade. Cherry lemonade. And then the price, since there's cherries, I'm gonna increase it to like $2. And then lemonade 3, that's like a bright pink lemonade, so let me see, they call it minty fresh. So I'm gonna give it the title minty fresh. And I think that one would be much more pricey, so I'm gonna say it is $3.50. And then the last one is a whole pitcher of lemonade. So I think that one should be maybe $7. So pitcher of lemonade. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Now we can just end that div and then end the other division and then end this section. So great. Now let's refresh and save, and so you can see, whoa, this one's huge. The different items and their prices. So now I'm going to start our contact section. So let's do another section and give it the ID contact, and then let's give it the class contact as well. Let me just click a bunch of enters so that we have more space. And then let's do the header h2. Oops, I forgot to close this tag. h2 contact us, and then end the header. Oh, I forgot to, oops. And then we'll do a form so that we can have the user input, and then we'll do label for equals name, and this asks the user for their name, and then we'll do name and then make sure there's a semicolon, and then we'll end the label. And then we'll do input, forgot the input, for equals email, and then email, semicolon, and then end the label. Oh wait, whoops, input type, so we'll do input type equals text, type equals text, ID equals name, and we'll make sure that that's a required section, and then we'll do label for equals email, and then email colon, and then we'll end the label, and then oops, I did label, and then we'll do the input type equals email, ID equals email, and we'll also make this one required, and then end the tag. I don't know, so that's all on the same line. Okay, and then label for equals message, and then we'll do message colon, and then end the label, and then we'll do the text. I don't know why it's like not aligned. The text area ID, oops, you're supposed to keep it 1, equals message, and then we'll just do 4 rows so that there's like a greater text box to give the message. Rows equal 4, and then we'll do required, and then we'll end the text area. And then button type equals submit, and class equals button. Wait, let me just keep it in one line. Submit, and the class equals button. And then we'll do send as the title, and then end the button. And then we can end the form, -form, and then end the section. Okay, So now let's refresh and save. And so you see we have our contact section, our email, our message, and you can send the message after you fill out all this sections. So that looks great. Now we can start our FAQ section. So let's do a new section, ID equals FAQ, class equals FAQ, and the tag, then H2 header would be FAQ, and then end the tag, then the details, and we'll do summary. Do you use real lemons? And this is then end the summary, and then we can add our response. So we'll do a paragraph. Absolutely! Exclamation. We squeeze fresh lemons in small batches every morning. P. Oh, end the paragraph. And now we can end the details as well. End details. Okay, and now we can just copy the same format for, oh, I forgot the question mark, but we can copy the same format for all 3 of the questions on our FAQ section. So let's do Control C and then Control V, Control V. Okay, so now we have our 3 different questions. So let's just change this to for each of the questions. So can I customize my flavor? And the response will be yes. Just drop us a note in the contact form with your dream combo! Exclamation. And then we'll do another question, which is, where are you located? And we'll be located right on the corner of Main, and then do a and symbol, amp, and then semicolon, third under the big yellow umbrella. So now we have our 3 questions, and then we can just end this section. And now, since we're done with our main section of all the about, the menu, and the FAQ, then we can end the main tag. Okay, so now let's refresh and save to see what it looks like. So as you can see, once you can open it up and have the responses to the questions, and that looks pretty good. Uh-oh. Refresh. Okay. So now we can have our footer with our copyright. So I'm going to just copy this copyright symbol so that we can use it later. And I'm going to start a footer, and with the paragraph of our copyright. So it'll be Control V, 2025 Lulu's lemonade, stay sweet, and then end the paragraph and end the footer, and then we can end the division, and we're done with our HTML. So now we can go into the CSS and make sure that everything looks nice and pretty. So this looks good. We have our footer, our FAQ, our contact section, and our menu, and our also our navigation, which just automatically directs us to whichever page, like whichever section that we would like to go to. Now that we have finished the HTML of our website, we can go into our CSS to begin stylizing everything. So let's delete what we have so far, and let's begin with the root theme of our website. So let's do :root curly bracket, and then let's set the primary. And we already have a color scheme to go off of, so FCD 34D, and then do a semicolon, and then let's do the accent color, colon, hashtag F59 E0B, semicolon, and then let's do the background for light, colon, and then hashtag FFF8DC, semicolon. Then let's do the dark background, so dark, colon, hashtag 1F2937. Then let's do the light text, so text dash light, colon, and then hashtag FEFCE8, semicolon, and then dash text dash dark, colon, hashtag F, oops, oh, I did the wrong, whoops, so this is the dark one, and then so the light will be 111827, semicolon. Then we'll do the highlight color, dash highlight, highlight, semicolon, and we'll do hashtag FACC15. Then finally we'll do the card radius, card dash radius 12 pixels. Oh, let me do the semicolon. Okay, so we made the root of our website, so let's refresh, like the root color scheme. And it hasn't been hasn't been imported yet, because I think we need to reference our font. So now let's do the body of our website. So let's do body. Oh, whoops, I need to enter body, curly bracket, and the font family will be Quicksand, which is our custom font that we referenced from Google Fonts. And then we'll do sans serif. It already updated. Sans serif, semicolon, and then we'll do the margin of 0. Then let's do the background color. It goes bare, and we'll start with background dash light. And so now the color is coming up, and then we can do the color of the text. So we'll do var, and it will be dash text dash light, and then we'll do the transition background for 0.3 seconds, 3 seconds, and the color will also be 0.3 seconds, and then separate it by a. Oh, and then I forgot to add the colons for this one and this one. Okay. So now we have our light yellow background color and our custom font. So now we'll refresh, and now we can go onto the wrapper. So let's do dot wrapper, and then the curly bracket, and then we'll do the max width to be 960 pixels, and then semicolon, margin of 0, and that will be auto, and then semicolon, and our padding will be 1 rem, semicolon. So let's refresh, and we'll see. And now let's do our theme toggle. So let's do dot theme / switch curly bracket, position will be fixed, top it will be 1 rem, semicolon, the right will be 1 rem, our font size will also be 1.5 rem, and our cursor is going to be a pointer. Okay, so we did the theme switch. Let's see. So nothing is happening yet because we have to actually do the colors, but let's do the site header. So dot site header, dot site header, curly bracket, text dash align would be center. The background color will vary based on the toggle. So var, and then let's start with primary. And then I'm gonna just do a bunch of enters so that this will be moved to the, so it'll be moved to more of the middle of the screen. So now we'll do the padding. So that would be 2 rem and then 1 rem. And so you can see the little yellow coming up. And now we'll do the position, relative, and the border of the bottom border will be 4 pixels, and it'll be solid there, and it'll be the accent color. Okay, so now you can see it's sort of coming together. There's like the yellow header, and that's looking good. Now let's work on the heading. So dot hero h1 curly bracket margin 0, and the font dash size will be 3 rem. Okay, so now it's like a bigger header. Then let's do the tagline. On the bottom, we'll do curly bracket, font dash size 1.2 rem, and the font weight will be 400. And now let's work on our navigation bar. So currently it's like in this list item view, but we'd like it to be on a horizontal axis. So let's go work on that. So let's go do .hamburger RID and then curly bracket, then the position will be absolute, left would be 1 rem, top will be 1 rem, semicolon, font dash size 1.8 rem, cursor, pointer, and our display will be none. Display is none. So let's see what that did. I guess it's not. And then now we'll actually format the main navigation so that it's in the sort of horizontal style. So main dash nav ul curly bracket list style none, padding 0, display is flex, justify content. So now we have to actually put a gap so that all of the items aren't just like all right next to each other. So let's also give it a center alignment so that it's in the center, and then we'll give it a gap of 2 rem. So there you go. Now they're nicely spaced. And now let's change the look of the navigation bar. So let's go to dot main dash nav a curly bracket text dash decoration is none. Then let's do the color var and do dash dash light, text dash light and semicolon. And then let's do the font dash weight is bold. So now let's refresh to see what that looks like. Okay, and now let's work on our about section so that we can sort of make the about menu and contact and FAQ from our nav to look better. So let's do dot about, comma, dot menu, comma, dot contact, comma, dot contact, comma, and dot FAQ. And then let's do curly bracket, and then let's give it a margin of 2 rem and 0, and then semicolon, and then give it some padding. So padding dash left, it will be 1 rem. And then let's change the border. So border dash left will be 4 pixels, and then give it a solid var, and then in parentheses dash dash accent. And then we'll add our semicolon. So now we can change the cards so that it'll have like that sort of card view and be in a grid. So let's do dot menu dash grid and then curly bracket, and let's give it the display, which will be a grid, and we'll set up our grid template. So we'll give it grid dash template dash columns, and we'll do repeat, and then we'll make it auto fit so that it can sort of change with how big the screen, how wide the screen is, and then we'll give it a min max of 200 pixels and 1 FR. And then do the semicolon. And as you can see, like the images are sort of stacked up, but we'll fix that later. So the two images are a little stacked, but once we fix the card radius, it'll be good. And so now let's continue on. Let's give it a gap of 1.5 rem. Semicolon, margin top will be 1 rem. Okay. And so now you can see it's like more spaced out. And so let's customize what our card will look like. So dot card, curly bracket, and we'll give it a background of white. So hashtag FFF and semicolon, and then we'll give it a border radius, which will vary based on the card radius. So var in parentheses card radius. Semicolon, and then we'll give it a little shadow so that it looks 3D. So box dash shadow, and then give it 0.4 pixels, and then 10 pixels, and then we'll give it an RGBA of 0, 0, 0, 0.1. So that's good. Now I'll do semicolon, and then we'll align the text for it to be in the center. So text dash align, center, and then we'll give it some padding, so padding of 1 rem, and we'll also give it a transition. So that looks good. 0.2 seconds. So now you can see there's a little box shadow under each card, and the images are still kind of peeking out, but whoops. But yes, so let's go start with our contact us section and our FAQ, and we also need to work on the hover animation so that it's sort of the card gets bigger when your mouse hovers over it. So let's work on that now. So let's do dot card hover and then the curly bracket, and it will transform by a scale of 1.05. So this will just increase the size of the card so it kind of looks like it's getting bigger as you touch over it. So now let's customize the card image. So dot card image curly bracket width will be 100% and the border radius will be varied by the card radius. So border dash radius colon var and then in parentheses dash dash card dash radius semicolon. So now the pictures are nice and small and they fit within the card. So that looks way better now. And so let's also change the header and the price tag so that it'll be more like have a different margin and a different text color. So let's go back and do our card header. So dot card h3 curly bracket and we'll give it a margin of 0.5 rem and 0 and then semicolon, and then we also need to change the price tag, the price like text to be orange. So let's do the curly bracket and color var based on the accent color, and then we'll also give it a bold font weight. So font weight bold semicolon, and so now the text is customized and looking way better. So now we have to change the contact us section so that the boxes aren't all like aligned horizontally. So let's go do the contact form. So input comma text area. So curly bracket width is 100%, and then we'll also need to give it some padding. So give it a padding of 0.6 rem. And then let's also give it a bottom margin of 1 rem, semicolon, and then let's do a border of 2 pixels, and give it a solid color, so solid hashtag CCC hashtag CCC semicolon. And now let's also change the border radius and give it 6 pixels, and the font dash family will be inherit. And let's give it a transition so the border color will be 0.2 seconds, semicolon. So now we can make the text box like change to a blue outline when we click on it. And we also need to change the button so like to customize it to look better. So let's first do the blue outline when we click on the box. So do input focus comma text area focus and do curly bracket and then give it a border dash color, and it'll vary based on the accent color, and then semicolon, and then the outline will be none. Okay, so that allows it to turn blue when you click on the box. And so now let's customize our button to have a pretty like orange and color and stuff. So let's do dot button, curly bracket, background will be the accent color. So var and in parentheses accent. And then the color will be white. And then let's give it some padding. So padding colon whoops, colon 0.6 rem, and then 1.2 rem, and then semicolon, and let's give it a border of none, semicolon, and then let's give it a border radius of 6 pixels, and then our cursor will be pointer. So this changed the button, and I see that the font is still the default like Arial font. We see, so it's the same as the original project, but I'm gonna just give it the same font family as our whole text. So font dash family, and we'll do quicksand, which is the name of our custom font. So let me check, and yep, that looks better. So now let's do the background color of when you hover on the button. So button, and then hover, and then curly bracket, and we'll change the background color to this darker hex code. So hashtag D97706 semicolon. And there you go. Once you hover on the button, it turns to this dark orange color. Okay, so now we just have to work on the FAQ section so that it's sort of like this, also this like card view to put in the questions and the answers. So let's go work on that. So we'll customize the details first. So details, and then curly bracket, and then let's give it a background of like this white color. So hashtag F9, 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 semicolon, and then let's give it a margin of 1 rem and then 0. And then let's give it some padding. So padding 1 rem. And then let's do the borders. So border dash left, and then the size will be 4 pixels, solid var, and it will be our primary color. And then semicolon, and then let's give it a border radius of 4 pixels. So colon, 4 pixels, and then semicolon. Okay, so now it's in that sort of box style, and we still need to kind of bold the font to like separate the question from the answer. So let's change the summary, which just kind of is our question. So summary, and then font dash weight, bold, and then cursor will be pointer. So now our question should be in a bold font, and now you see. And so now we are done with our FAQ section, and we can work on our footer. So I'm going to do footer, curly bracket, and then the text aligned will be center. Give it the padding of 1 rem. And the background will vary based on the primary color, and our color will be a custom hex code. So color colon hashtag 333. There we go. And so now you can see we have our footer. And now we just have to work on our dark theme toggle and just like customize our theme toggler. Okay, so let's do hashtag theme dash toggle, and then colon checked, and then we do this sort of curly dash dot, and then we'll do dot wrapper, and dots and then we'll do our curly bracket, and then give it a background dash color, and it'll vary, so it'll be our dark background, so in parentheses dash dash background dash dark, and semicolon, and then the color will be color colon var in parentheses dash dash text dash dark, and then do our semicolon. Okay, that looks good, so let's check it. And so now you can see it turns into this sort of black background when you check our theme toggler. So now let's work on the wrapper for our site header so that it's not this sort of bright yellow color. So let's do hashtag theme dash toggle colon checked, and then the curly dash, and then dot, and then we'll do dot wrapper dot site dash header, and then curly bracket, and then we'll do the background dash color, and that will be hashtag 374151 semicolon. And now let's do the color. So var dash dash highlight, oops, and so now let's do our main nav. So let's do hashtag theme dash toggle, and then checked, and then let's do our curly dash dot wrapper, and then dot main dash nav a, and then curly bracket, and then color colon var text, oops, I meant highlight, so that as you can see. And now let's work on our card wrapper. So hashtag theme dash toggle colon checked, and then curly dash dot wrapper, and then dot card, and we'll give it the background color of also of 374151, and then semicolon, and then color, and that will vary. So oops, I forgot the D, var, and let's do dash dash text, I forgot the dashes, dash dash text dash dark, and there we go. So okay, so now we can do our last theme toggler for our input and text area. So hashtag theme dash toggle colon checked, and then our squiggly dash dot wrapper input, and then hashtag theme dash toggle colon checked, and then squiggly, oops, checked, and then dot wrapper text area, and then our curly bracket, and then we'll give it a background color dash color colon, and then hashtag 111827, and then the color will be hashtag FEFCE8, and then semicolon, and then our border dash color colon, and then hashtag 9CA3AF. There we go. So let's refresh, and then let's check what it looks like on night mode. So now it's like that dark color. And so let's now we should customize it so that it's compatible for a mobile navigation view. So let's do at media, and then we'll give it a max width of 640 pixels, and then the curly bracket, and then do dot main dash nav ul, and then another curly bracket, and then we'll give it flex direction will be a column, and then the background will be varied, and then it'll be primary semicolon, and then padding will be 1 rem, display is none, and I think that looks good. So now let's also do the menu toggle for when it's checked, and so hashtag menu dash toggle colon checked, and then dot wrapper and dot main dash nav ul, and then the curly bracket will be display flex. And lastly, let's style the hamburger again. So dot hamburger, and the display will be a block. So that looks good. Oh, let's just put all of this under this section. So now let's refresh, and we see, you can see all of our elements, and then let's see our night mode, and that looks pretty good. So we have finished our web-based application, and thanks for joining me. Have a great day.